All right, we're back with a few more defensive use of a firearm incidents for you. We're going to start in Clovis, New Mexico, where we have an adult female. That's our victim. She was unharmed. And we have an adult male, our suspect, and he was killed. And this is a home invasion, and it's showing that this is the 7th Clovis homicide this year. And a man was shot and killed during a home invasion in Clovis around 10 a.m. A homeowner said someone broke into their house. When police arrived, the burglar suspect was dead. The suspect was killed by the homeowner. The suspect's name will be released following the notification of family members. So not a whole lot to that story other than a man broke into the home and the female homeowner killed the home invader. All right, let's go on to Chicago, Illinois, where we have our victim. We have two victims. One is Serabi Medina. She's 9 years old and she was killed. And we have an adult male who was unharmed. That's our second victim. And our suspect, 43-year-old Michael Goodman, he was injured and arrested. A man who police say intentionally shot and killed a 9-year-old girl in Portage Park on Saturday has been charged with first-degree murder. Michael Goodman, 43 years old, walked up to a group of people on the sidewalk across from his home and shot Serabi Medina in the head. Serabi's family tackled the man. Her father tackled the man, and the gun went off during a struggle. Goodman was struck by gunfire above the left eye, according to the police report detailing the incident. Serabi was pronounced dead at Stroger Hospital a short time later, according to the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office. Her cause of death was a gunshot wound. And the manner of death was classified as a homicide. Police originally reported she was 8 and saying that she's 9. Okay, I heard about this one earlier, and this guy that shot this girl, he was upset that she was too loud. Whoever these kids were playing, and there was adults there, and he deemed her too loud, and that was the reason that he decided to shoot her. And the father, originally the story was told that the father was the one that shot the daughter. The father was the one that was mad. But I'm glad this came out that it wasn't the father, that it was a different neighbor that had shot the girl, and the father was the one that had tackled the man. Because the story, sometimes you read these stories right away and something doesn't sound right on them. And I was going to cover this one, and I didn't. And now I'm glad I didn't, because I would have had it all wrong if I would have covered it when the story first came out. All right, so let's go on to Evansville, Indiana, where we have an adult male victim unharmed and a 32-year-old Kendley Baptiste. That's an adult male. He was injured and arrested. Evansville police are investigating after they say a fight on Facebook turned into a stabbing and a shooting. It happened late Sunday night. Police say a man who had been stabbed in the back and cut on his face told them he had been in a fight with 32-year-old Kendley Baptiste. He told officers after he was stabbed, he fired the gun towards Baptiste, who ran away. Officers say they found Baptiste walking near Graham Avenue. After several minutes of talking, they say he told them that he had been grazed by a bullet. Officers say Baptiste denied stabbing the other man, but did admit that he had been in a fight on Facebook, and he went to his apartment to confront him. Police say surveillance video shows the men fighting, then shots being fired. They say the man firing the gun could be heard saying that he had been stabbed. Officers say they found 2 guns at the scene, one in a car and one in a mailbox. They say that they didn't find a knife. Both men were treated for their injuries. Baptiste was arrested and charged with battery with a deadly weapon. So this is another example of how social media is destroying our country. These 2 guys get in a fight on Facebook that turns into a real life, real fight using knives and guns. All right, let's go to Chicago, Illinois. We have an adult male victim who was injured, and it doesn't say who our suspects are. Oh, of course, because this is Chicago, all we get is a police report, because all of this stuff, they do not do news reports for whatever reason on this stuff in Chicago. They must not deem it enough information that the only way to get the information is go directly to the Chicago Police Department report. A male victim, 31, was walking on the sidewalk when he was approached by two unknown males, of which one produced a handgun. The victim, a CCL holder, also removed his handgun, and there was an exchange of gunfire between the two. The offender then fled eastbound, and the victim sustained a gunshot wound to the stomach and left buttocks and was transported to the hospital in critical condition. A handgun was recovered on the scene, and there is no one in custody. Area 4 detectives are investigating. So he didn't know these guys. He's walking down the street in Chicago on the sidewalk, and he was approached by two guys he didn't know. It doesn't say that they were trying to rob him. It doesn't say they were trying to do anything other than there was an exchange of gunfire. And possibly because this is a police report, they didn't go into the details on it right away, where a news report probably would have given us a little more information. But be careful what neighborhoods you're walking through in Chicago. All right, Detroit, Michigan, the Front End Auto Clinic. We have an adult male victim who was unharmed, and our suspect was unharmed as well, and this is listed as an armed robbery. Detroit police are trying to find a group of thieves who burglarized a West Side auto shop early Monday morning before they were scared off by the armed owner. The owner of the Front End Auto Clinic on Warren Avenue said crooks, he's calling them crooks, cut through a fence and then broke into his business. Once inside, the undefined robbers, allegedly stole multiple tools and scanners. The police, or the business owner said that he arrived during the robbery and fired a couple of warning shots into the air. The robbers were spooked, but were able to get away before police arrived. There were no injuries reported. Johnny Cesar, who works across the street, said these criminals should use their apparent skills to find honest employment. They're still doing a job, right? They get up, get a plan, they get their car, they get their tools to cut through the fence, right? So why don't they put their effort into actually getting a real job? Well, the guy's got a point. They say actually some of these criminals could be CEOs of major corporations if they worked an honest living. So this one, it doesn't sound like anyone got hurt. These guys broke in, and the owner of the business, walked in on the robbery and just fired warning shots that scared the guys off. He lost some tools and a scanner, but it sounds like nobody got hurt in that one. So let's go to Memphis, Tennessee, Marathon gas station. We have a 20-year-old male that was injured, and our suspect is an adult male who was unharmed. 20-year-old man is in critical condition after police say he was gunned down at the Raleigh gas station around midnight Monday morning. The shooting happened at the Marathon station on P Highway. Glass doors at the gas station were shot out. The victim was inside the store when he told police a vehicle pulled up and two men got out. One of the two with a large gun faced the victim and started shooting. That's when the victim pulled out his own weapon, returning fire. Clerks and customers took cover. Fire department officials say the victim was taken to Regional 1 with gunshot wounds. According to the Memphis Police Department, he is now in critical condition. By sunup, we returned to the store where efforts were being made to clean up and patch up the shattered window, presumably from the gun battle from hours earlier. Police spent quite some time looking at surveillance cameras outside and inside the store. Someone else that could be vital in the 28 shell casings recovered, likely an indication of how many shots were fired. In addition to the gunman captured in the surveillance photo, police said there was a second suspect in the store. Detectives are also looking for a third person, possibly a woman, who drove the dark Dodge sedan. And we got pictures of these suspects, or at least one of the suspects here. And this is typical at these gas stations. And I've said in videos before, and it's just a conclusion I've come to from all this stuff, that beware when you go to gas stations if you're in the wrong neighborhood, because these gas stations are one of the places that are very common for people to get shot at, especially innocent bystanders. You're there, there's something going down between other people, and the bullet doesn't know who it's intended for, and innocent bystanders get struck all the time by bullets at these gas stations. And I mean, if it's possible to avoid these areas when you need gas, get gas, before you're below a half a tank or something, in a safer area. But these gas stations, a lot of these stories that I read and do these, even the self-defense alone on, are the gas stations are just, they're places you don't want to be caught at. Well, that's all I have for you today. But if you like these kind of videos, hit that like button and leave your comments. Leave a comment with your thoughts in the comments section. And if you're not already, consider subscribing. I'll catch you next week, same time.